Hello everyone, welcome back to A Gut Feeling. My name is Janine, and in this video I am interviewing Dr. Kleinsmith from the company Anovite. If you've been on my channel, you know how big of a fan I am of Colostrum, and so I got the privilege of interviewing him, asking him questions, and he is diving much deeper than I ever have into Colostrum and its benefits. Now, I want to apologize. I was having some audio issues so that you actually can't hear me talking towards the end of the video. And so I have just popped some of the questions up on the screen that I asked him. But he knew the questions I was going to be asking him before we ever started the interview. And so he did a really good job at just covering everything that I was interested in. So I hope you all enjoy. And if you're new here, I would love if you subscribe and stick around. Can you see me? I see you.
Yep.
All right.
We have liftoff.
All right, sounds good. Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks so much for agreeing for this interview. It's a real honor to have you here. I'm really excited about your products. Anyway, would you mind introducing yourself and kind of giving your background and how the company got started and who you are?
Sure. My name is Dr. Anthony Kleinsmith. I have a PhD in nutrition. I started getting involved in colostrum at a very young age. As a matter of fact, when I say young, at 8 years old, I started my first business buying day-old bull calves from the dairy farmers, right?
Okay.
Dairy farmers didn't really want anything to do with bull calves. They're looking for heifers, right? Future milkers. So I would buy day-old bull calves and feed them what back then we called first milk. Today we know as colostrum. And by the time I was 12, I had very nice bank account for a 12-year-old. Actually, I had a very nice bank account for an adult in today's standards. So I started with that. And then jumping ahead, I got involved in HGH years and years and years ago. And from there, I started getting into colostrum.
Okay.
And the reason for it is the synthetic form of HGH, IGF-1 and growth hormone, were isolated from colostrum, synthesized using DNA recombinant technology, and we have a multi-billion-dollar anti-aging industry.
Okay.
Well, the doctors there did not want me to do anything with a natural form, right? They wanted to charge literally $30,000 a head per year.
Wow.
And I wanted to help a lot of folks. So they told me that if I got involved in it, they would fire me. Well, I left. I started looking for the very best colostrum and how to make it better. The way you make it better is to make the cows healthier. If you make the cows healthier, they have a nice byproduct of better colostrum. Right? Well, that was in 1991, and I never looked back. From there, I started my very first company that kind of morphed into a contract manufacturer. Right? So we're very unique. Most products that you see on the marketplace are not made by the same people who are marketing them. Right?
Okay.
They're marketers.
Right.
We are. We are not only a marketer, we market our products. We've done a tremendous amount of research and validation, and we'll get into that as well. But we also make our own products, right? We are FDA, USDA inspected facility. They come and they make sure that we're doing all the right testing and all the right CFR rules and regulations to ensure that our quality, as far as they are concerned, meets or beats their standards.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Now,
go ahead.
Anovite came about because of a great big behemoth out there called Amazon. Amazon is doing a very fine job of killing off all the little mom and pop health food stores that are out there. And if they can't kill them off, what are they doing? Like Whole Foods, they're buying them. Right? Well, that's not what we want to do, because if you've ever walked into a health food store, do you really ever get help? Not really. You have clerks that direct you, go buy this, go buy that, but they can't really give you information. They can't tell a story. And Anovite is all about our story. And our story is kind of wrapped up in our name. Anovite in Latin means a new you. For years, I've known what my products have done. How do I know that? Because we got involved in research very, very early on. As a matter of fact, I had folks that approached me and said, listen, would you like to get into research? I said, absolutely. They said, how much money would you like to throw at it? I said, none, I don't have any. Right? When I first started out, as most companies start out, they don't have a whole lot of money. They said, well, will you give us product? I said, oh, now that becomes interesting. How much would you like? They said, how much are you willing to give? I said, I'll give you a ton a year, but it's got to be legitimate. Well, because of the folks that we were involved with, Dr. Donald Lyon at the time was the head of the endocrinology lab, head of the veterinary diagnostics lab, and head of the veterinary school of medicine at Cornell University. They put out 3 letters on Cornell letterhead about us.
Okay.
They said that Anthony Kleinsmith's colostrum is the only one that tests and certifies as true colostrum. Then I had a company that didn't like our big 6 that's on the label. That 6 represents 2 things. One is the time frame in which we take it, and it also represents the 6 main components that are found and that you can test for, right? The fat, lactose, albumin, casein, ash, and protein, right?
Okay.
If you look at those 6 things and then break it up into the 4 corners of all the 700 plus different components, boy, the growth factors and immune factors and all of the whole food components are found in true colostrum.
Interesting.
Right? They put out another letter because this company came after me and said, we don't like you saying that you're 6-hour certified. Well, Cornell put out a letter stating they certified us as 6 hours.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Then we had a country come after us, the country of New Zealand. And Cornell stepped up and put a 3rd letter out that said, you're 100 years behind the times, catch up. Now, why is all that important? And I will tell you, that was in 2003. Okay. Was that old news? I would even say that's old news unless you have some newer validation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in 2012, 2013, 2016, 2018, we have been tested by the Chemical Toxin Working Group. They are the largest litigator in the state of California for Prop 65. Okay? They test to make sure that you're clean and that what you say is actually validated. Okay? We won the People's Choice Award, the Reader's Choice Award multiple times.
Interesting.
Multiple. We've been in the Westinghouse, Price Westinghouse catalog before. We have a lot of validation. Well, when I was selling into health food stores, and I've gotten away from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
My other company, we're pulling that off the market for Anovite. Why? Because it's people like you who can reach out and touch people's lives. Because I know for a fact our products absolutely help. How do I know? Way back when we were doing all of this research, I fell out of love with the health food stores because I found out they didn't really care, right? They just wanted you to mark it and say whatever you needed to say and move it off the shelves. Well, I'm not into that. I like products that actually help people. And I had a gentleman by the name of David Steinman who owns the Healthy Living magazine. He approached me and he said, listen, what are you going to do with all this? Nothing. They don't care. I said, well, how about we do something together? How about I take that information and I start writing about you? That was 20 years ago. We have over 100 international editorials written about us on all types of things that I can't really go into because as an owner, the FDA looks at me and says, hey, you might be leaning towards one direction or another, right?
Right.
But if you go to the Healthy Living magazine, they have over 100 international editorials on all sorts of things, right? Now, I know one of the things that you have issues with are gut issues. Everybody does, right? We're born with them. But here's what's fascinating. There are factors within colostrum that can have a major impact on balancing the gut, okay? And whether it's just starting out or whether you have some very serious issues, there are factors that help to balance. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to be balanced, right? And as an example, there's one in particular called proline-rich polypeptides. That what it does is as you have these issues creep up in your existence, they literally start to attack your own body, okay? Well, proline-rich polypeptides help to bring it back into a balanced state. Not overactive nor underactive. We want balance, right? But if that's what we did and that was the only thing, it's huge. But then there are these natural growth factors, whole food forms. And let me get into that just a little bit. When you look at an isolate, that's a drug, okay? It stands alone. It's one thing, okay? Where a whole food may have the one thing that you're looking for, but it has all of these other supporting elements that keep us in balance, right? That's what colostrum brings to the table. It's not a singular, It is a multi-dimensional. It literally works on every cell and every system simultaneously while you're taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you take too much? No. I like to pick on vitamin C. Why? Everybody knows about it. They know it's good for you.
Right.
And they go, I got a little sniffle or something, and they mega dose. But what you don't realize is that your body only accepts a certain percentage, and the rest literally gets flushed down the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Colostrum has a 98.7% uptake into the body. It's one of the few substances that will not only cross the blood-brain barrier, but it can be used because of the lipid nature of it to help carry things across that blood-brain barrier.
That's interesting. Okay? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Now, take some of those growth factors, add those to that PRP. I like to think of the growth factors. Everybody has heard of HGH, right? Human growth hormone. Kind of my background, right?
Mm-hmm.
HGH is phenomenal. Does it work? The answer is an absolutely resounding yes, it does. Okay, but it is also isolates, isolated IGF-1, isolated growth hormone. That's it. Okay. Colostrum doesn't have one or two. It has what they call the IGF-1 superfamily. It has all 87 natural whole food growth factors, and it has several hundred co-components to bring us back into a balanced state.
Okay.
Now, add those with PRP. Not only do you have something that helps to balance, but now you have residual, you have collateral issues, right, from having some of those initial things. Those growth factors act like a cleanup crew, right? They come along and they fix, they regenerate,
mm-hmm.
they optimize, they make us youthful, okay? Put those things back in, and we've only just talked about a couple of things right now, right? There are 700 different components that are found within true colostrum.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, I like to draw something usually. It's a four-corner, right? Everybody's seen a baseball diamond at one
mm-hmm.
point or another. And there's four corners to it. One corner, the top corner, is what they call the IGF-1 superfamily. The bottom are 100-plus different immune factors. Now, if you went into a hospital and you said cytokines, leukocytes, interferons, macrophages, somebody's going to say, oh my gosh, what disease do you have? Because those can be looked at as a drug, because that's what they've isolated. But we aren't a drug. We're a whole food, right? Mm-hmm. We're our first food. We're God's first food. Mm-hmm. Every mammal out there should have, now not all of us got it, but should have had colostrum, mm-hmm. because it jump starts 40 different processes within that newborn. Not just for that newborn, but for people who are in their 30s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Okay? We know that if you didn't get colostrum when you were a newborn, as an example, I was a sickly child. Okay? I never got colostrum. I was never breastfed. Mm-hmm. Okay? But today, I take 20 grams of colostrum for two very specific reasons. Do I have heart problems? No, not that I know of, right? I get a clean bill of health from my doctors. But the men in my family have heart issues. So I take it for myself as a preventative, mm-hmm. right? Because there's research that shows it's really good for the heart.
I see.
Okay? The other thing that I do, when I was 28 years old, I like doing crazy things sometimes, right? So I was an extreme skier, took a 20-foot cliff, and I folded the knee. If you want a visual, take the top of your foot, put it right there. Okay? Now, that wasn't bad, right? What was bad was the very first surgery to replace the ACL. The doctor was off by just a hair when he drilled through the knee. Mm. So when he put the cadaver graft in, it sat in there and it hummed and it liquefied all the bone. Well, since then, I've had 7 ACL reconstructs. I've had orthoscopic surgeries all the way across the board. And there was a little article in the American Chiropractic Journal that said, we think that some of those growth factors might have an impact on soft tissue. Well, I started megadosing. And what I found is my knee became very strong.
Really?
Right? Because of all the supporting of those natural growth factors and immune factors and all the other components to what? Keep us in balance, mm-hmm. right? Now I'm 55 years old. Last time I saw a doctor was 2 years ago. Why? I kind of slipped, tripped, and tore some meniscus in that knee. The doctor said, wait a minute, you shouldn't have any of that meniscus there. We cut it all out. Well, guess what? My supporting colostrum helped to put my knee into a balanced state, and even he was surprised, saying, don't know how you did it, but your knee is in pretty doggone shape.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, take that, and along with all of the other research that we've done, and there's research on the Healthy Living website on Crohn's, on heart disease, diabetes. There's a long list, right? There's a website out there. It's called scholar.google.com. And what Google did, sometimes I like them and sometimes I don't, right? It's technology. As you know, as we started out this thing, I'm a number 2 pencil when it comes to technology, so I like things easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Scholar did something that was phenomenal, especially for people like me, right? If you're into the research side, I love reading research. If you go to the NIH database or the PubMed.gov, it's almost like somebody's purposely sat down and said, let's make this hard so nobody can get in here and look, right? Scholar did something that was kind of cool. They went out and they grabbed all of the research from everybody and they put it into one database. Now, some of that I know because I've read some of the articles that I've written in the past that somebody went in sort of modified and got it published there. So you still have to filter a little bit, but you can go in and look at anything, right? You can type in diabetes space colostrum and thousands of research articles will pop up. Now, if you don't like reading, some people don't, but it can give you a modicum, okay, of information. Because if there's 12,000 research articles that are there, there's going to be something there that is going to have a significant impact on whatever situation you're going through, right?
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you have to be a PhD to read some of those things, right? But there's enough there that you can read and say, you know what, I want to try this. I want to put some of those building blocks back into my body, okay? And that's one way that I tell folks all the time. This is going to be a strange statement, I know, because I've been told, people go, huh, what? I tell people all the time, don't trust me. We're all trying to sell you something, right? Don't trust me, don't trust them, ask for third-party validation. Do we have the letters from Cornell that we can send to you? Absolutely, yes. Do we have the letters from the chemical toxin working group and all that? Yes, we do, okay? Ask for those things. And if somebody says, oh, well, you know, we're going to get those to you someday, run. Run away, okay? One of the things if you go to the Healthy Living magazine and you read some of those articles, one of the things that I absolutely insist on is put some references in there, right? Put some of the clinical research in there. Make sure that you can read it and understand it because people are looking for a ray of hope. And that's what Colostrum can do. But from Colostrum, we go into other things as well. There's another product called Limu Z. I started building that in 1998. And it was designed to be cognitive, right? A lot of us after, well, let's say age 27, 30 years old, we sort of get into this brain fog, right? We start slowing down mentally. Maybe memory isn't exactly what it used to be, right? Why? Well, if you start looking at a lot of the research, they'll say, oh, it's environmental, heavy metals in the air. If you've ever driven behind a diesel truck and that big black cloud of smoke comes into your car and you're trying to push the button to make sure that it doesn't, keep all that nonsense out, well, you can't hold your breath forever, right? Every time you take a breath, you're breathing in different things that are in the environment. They're toxins to us, okay? Well, why not put something back into your body that has a focus? Where colostrum is a shotgun approach, right? We're going to shoot your body and we're going to see what sticks. May even take some time to get to some of the benefits that you want to see, right? Some things are very, very quick. Some things it may take a little time. You didn't get to where you're at overnight, nor will you potentially get to where you want to be overnight.
Right.
Okay? But I started looking at this fucoidin and some of the other substances, and it morphed over the years. It became Limu Z. And what was fascinating about it, where colostrum is a shotgun, Limu Z is very focused and very quick. Endocrine system, or the chemistries, right? The nervous system, cognitive. The immune system, keeping us healthy, keeping us balanced. Pineal, or aging. Now, you look like to me, you look like a baby, right? You're young, is what I'm saying. But we all worry at some point. I want to slow that down. I don't mind getting older, okay? I have longevity genes. The women in my family, I have my mama that lived to 108 years old.
Wow.
My granny died at 100 years old, right?
Wow.
So they live a long time. The men, though, they have heart issues. So I take my colostrum every day for the heart, not because I have a bad heart, but as a preventative. I take colostrum for my knee, right? Because it helps my knee, helps the other joints and everything else. When I say I do bad things to myself, I've broken both wrists at the same time. I've broken all my ribs. I've broken all the bones in both feet. I have titanium that surrounds my spinal cord. I like doing a little fun stuff. You got to live, right? I figure I'm going to slide into the pearly gates, right? Broken, bruised, and bleeding, and I'm going to say, "Oh my gosh, what a ride!"
Right.
And
you stole
hopefully
that somewhere.
St. Peter.
You stole that.
Hopefully
saying.
St. Peter will be up there going, "It's a good thing you're Christian because, wow." Right.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it. We're out there to help people. That's what we're designed to do, right? It's not just a take. It's got to be a win-win. The win for me is, especially with Anovite, I get to meet the people whose lives we're touching, right? With health food stores, I never met a single person that ever went to a health food store. I never even had an owner ever come here. Okay?
So you had your product marketed on shelves of health food stores at the beginning. Is that what you're saying?
At the beginning, I did, and I pulled it off the shelves. I said, you know what? We're done. I want folks. I've been in 43 countries, and I've met some amazing people, and listening to them tell their stories about what our products have done for folks has absolutely changed me. That's what I know I want to do for the rest of my days, and that's what Anovite, and that's what Anovite does.
So this is about where my audio cut out. And so I just was asking Dr. Kleinsmith about the cows, if they're grass-fed, if they're fed organically. And he proceeded to tell me that he prefers both with his cows, that they're both grass-fed out in the pasture, and also have some of their nutrition organically managed within the barn.
You want both, okay? You've seen cows that are stanchion fed, or what they call line feeding, right? Their heads are in the little stanchions. There, you can control their nutritional intake, okay? You can make sure that, hey, they still get colostrum. Now, unlike you and I, our stomachs don't close off, right? Theirs do. The growth factors won't get through for a grown cow or bull, but for you and I, they will. But they will absolutely benefit from the immune side of colostrum. So you can make sure that they're getting the nutritional values that you want them to have, okay? And because you and I have bugs that are riding our coattails, they jump off, and the cows build antibodies to the things that they're exposed to from you and I. But you absolutely want them out in the field too. Why? Anybody ever walk through a forest and get bit by a tick? Well, so do they. But the beauty about what they do, very different than what we do, they will actually build an antibody for it. Where does it pass through? The colostrum. Not the milk, the colostrum. And that's why you want both, right? You want them line fed because you want to make sure that they're getting the nutritional, right, side of things. But you also want to make sure that they're out in the field because they get exposed to things like, as an example, anthrax. If you're frolicking in the fields, anthrax is naturally occurring. Well, guess what they do? They build an antibody, and they pass it through the colostrum. So you want both.
So Dr. Kleinsmith covered two of the company's most popular products, that is the plain powdered colostrum and also the product called Limuz. So I wanted him to talk a little bit also about Flex 6, which is also a product that a lot of people love, and I was just asking him to expound more on it.
When I built Flex, it was designed around a very particular individual. Ron Williams he had retired when he was 40. He had over 150 international bodybuilding, all natural bodybuilding titles, right? And he came to me when he was 46 years old. And he said, I want to get back into competition. Now, I tried to talk him out of it. I said, Ron, you're going to go up against guys. You're going to be pushing 50 years old by the time you get there, right? But you're going to be going up against guys who are in their 20s and 30s. You're going to be 47 by the time you get to the competition, right? He says, nope, I want to do this. He says, build something that is natural, that will pass the blood work, because he has to go through blood testing and all that. And so when I built it, it was designed to help him not only recover, right, faster, and it's based on colostrum. I want to recover, but I also want to put nutrients back into the body to help him build out again, okay? We, as human beings, we start to lose our lean muscle mass, which is one of our biomarkers for premature aging, by the time we're around 32, 33 years of age. So if we can bring some of that back. Now, you're female. You don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? But you want to be nice and toned, right? Guys, yeah, we want a little across the chest and the shoulders and the arms. We like it when our ladies go, hey, you look pretty good. So I built that for that, right? But it had this side effect, which was really fun. As you get older, now I like to pick on my granny, and I love her to death. Okay, she's passed, but she was feisty. She was 4'2". She could grow a better goatee than I can. Okay, because what happens is you all get older. As women get older, your estrogens fall, your testosterone rises. You become more masculine. Okay, as the male side of things happen, as we get older, our testosterone falls, our estrogens rise. That's why you see little men who are more feminine. We're softer as we get older, okay? Flex comes into the picture. Now I have a whole lot of folks who they don't go to a gym, they couldn't probably spell fitness because they don't want to, right? But what they do want is they want their masculinity back. They want their femininity back, right? As we get older. I want to be as much of a masculine male as I possibly can, and you want to be as feminine as you possibly can for as long as you can, right? That's what makes us who we are. Well, Flex has different factors in it. For you, it captures the testosterone, helps with your estrogens. For me, it captures the estrogens and releases my testosterone. So I become more masculine, you become more feminine, right, as we get older. Which brings all of those wonderful benefits to both sides of the species that we're looking for. And Flex, now people are saying, I don't ever go into a gym, but I will not live without my Flex because I like the way it makes me feel. Ron Williams, he won the International Olympian. And then he retired. Yep. You are available, and if you email me, I will send you the link to the Healthy Living magazine and put it out there, because I'll tell you, there's some very interesting information there that a lot of people have read throughout the years, and it is all about our product. Okay? You're very welcome. You too. Bye-bye.
So friends, that's the end of the interview. If you want to order any products, there'll be links in the description to the website and other links referred to in the video as well. Have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video.